May 13, next Monday, is Election Day, and the Commission on Elections is all set to conduct the country's second automated polls. Will the PCOS machines deployed to all polling centers nationwide perform flawlessly? What contingencies are in place to deal with the hitches that may arise? And are the voters ready to vote intelligently for candidates who will serve them and our country? Joining us tonight on NewsLife is Mr. Ramon Casiple, Executive Director for the Institute for Political and Electoral Reforms. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, is the Commission on Elections ready to conduct this country's second automated elections?
Well, we agree with the assessment of the COMELEC itself that more or less 98 to 99% of the preparations are already finished. The one is still ongoing are the deployment of security forces. So I think the Monday's election, it is all set already.
So the source code was delivered just in time. Will this allay fears of wholesale cheating on election day?
Well, actually, the source code and the review of the source code are not the critical items. The certification is the legal requirement, and it was delivered actually along with the source code 2 days ago. The question of implementation actually does not depend on the source code because it has already been compiled and translated to binary codes in all the machines.
So for the benefit of our viewers, how fast will the canvassing of results take place, and how does the process work?
Well, the PCOS machine is the one that counts the votes in the and this is sent at the end of the voting period at 7 o'clock in the evening. And 3 copies will be sent, one to the municipal level canvassing board. The one is to the central office of the COMELEC as the backup copy, and the third to PPCRB. That's the one where the media gets its copy. The official copy is with the municipal canvassing board. And normally, if all goes well, before midnight, there will already be a determination of the winners at the municipal level. Provincial level, that would be the next day, and the earliest possible for at least part of the senatorial and some of the party list groups would be at night of the day after. And the whole process is supposed to last for 48 hours.
So if you remember in 2010, it took some time for the voters to cast their vote. Are there any problems we're anticipating that may happen?
Well, the major problem in 2010 was transmission. There were places where the cellular network does not exist or is very weak, or sending out weak signals. Then you have the problem of making sure that the results of the particular elections in a precinct will be transmitted physically to the municipal canvassing board, and that takes time. The record for 2010 is that 70% of the votes came in within 48 hours. The 30% struggled in for the next 1 month.
So now, since the automated elections is now being implemented for the second time, do you think we've learned from the lessons that from the past elections, maybe some mistakes or a process to make it faster and to make it easier?
Well, what I know is the report that they have addressed at least half of the 128 identified weaknesses and errors in the system in the 2010 elections, and these are the most crucial parts. So there is that expectation that in the 2013 election, with the enhancement and the corrective measures, we might have less or even no major problems in this election.
And now, sir, looking at the campaign in these elections, how do you assess it?
Well, the campaign, I think, has not diverged much from the path taken by previous campaigns. Of course, we have the national campaign 90 days before the election, the local campaigns 45 days before the election. The only difference I can see that there are less issues today, and this is traceable to the kind of contest that we have. There is no real opposition in terms of the battle at the senatorial level. UNA, for example, does not consider itself as a real opposition against the administration. In fact, it supports the program of the government. So you have a problem of debate, the problem of making sure that the people understand the difference between its group.
So during this election, do you see that more people now are participating, more people are now more educated to vote wisely this coming Monday?
Well, we have a transitioning electorate. 65% of the voters now are 35 years old and below. And that is contributing to a changing mode of the voters in making their choices. With the advent of social media, there is a lot of information available now to the voters. And I think the culture, of critical thinking is starting to set in. However, the entire electoral process is still squarely within the traditional politics.
So now looking at the Senate race, what is your fearless forecast? Do you think Team Pinoy will make a sweep?
Well, we can only go by the surveys, of course, and the most reliable are the two, Pulse Asia and the SWS. Both predicts a 9-3 outcome, a possible 10-2 or a lesser 8-4. And I think within those ranges will be the actual results.
So now, given the high trust and approval ratings of the President, will he gain full support from both House of Congress in the 16th Congress?
Well, the issue actually that is interesting to monitor is the outcome of the senatorial contest. If the President, I think, or the Team Pinoy gets 7 of the position, there is a good chance that they will get the majority of the Senate. And there might be a changing of the guard there when the Liberal Party tries to get the Senate presidency. In that context, if there is a majority both in the lower house and in the upper house for the administration, then there will be a big change in the pace of legislation, particularly of administration-sponsored bills.
Okay, on that note, thank you very much for joining us tonight here at NewsLive. That was Mr. Ramon Casiple, Executive Director of the Institute for Political and Electoral Reforms.